We all wish we could bring our Disney vacation home with us, right? To have that Disney feeling every day? Well, why not start your day the Disney way with a Disney blend from Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company? With over 23 varieties to choose from the French bistro you find in your resort room to the Yachtsman Steakhouse and Gico, of course, and now Joffrey's newest Disney blend, Le Cellier. Why not start your day with that Disney magic? Order yours today at joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our final boarding call, and the doors will be closing soon.
Hey everybody, welcome to ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Bob Collar. Tim Scott cannot be with us tonight because he's getting ready for Looper Meet 2017, which will be down there April 22nd for the Looper Meet 2 to 4 at Gasparilla's at the Grand Floridian. So make sure you guys come by and say hello. We're going to be there the whole weekend, rooting on the Rocketeers and everybody running in the Dark Side Challenge. So make sure you come and find us somehow and make sure you say hello, and you never know, you might get a highly coveted ResortLoop.com pin. So, since Tim's not here, I'm putting myself at great risk by interviewing my daughter and three of her friends about Beauty and the Beast, the new Beauty and the Beast movie that has now earned over $750 million worldwide, could reach $1 billion before this is all said and done, and eclipse maybe Frozen. We don't know. So we're going to go around the room. Of course, a lot of you know my daughter, Emily. Emily, say hello.
Hi.
And her friend Kaylee.
Hello.
And Rachel.
Hello.
And Ashley.
Hi.
We're not going to give last names because even though these are all 18-year-old girls, but they're all very, very naive and don't know a whole lot about anything, right, girls?
I'm only 17.
Very. All right, we're gonna need a waiver from your parents for this. No, I'm just kidding. So we wanted to talk about Beauty and the Beast because in spite of the little bit of controversy that was there, it's a huge success. There will be spoilers in this. If you guys haven't seen the movie yet, we are going to just kind of let these girls talk about the movie and what they liked about it from a teenage girl's perspective, because you guys kind of liked the movie, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys can talk.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's this could be a long show, folks. So let's talk about the cast. This is a question I have. Now, you guys all grew up with Harry Potter. You guys all know Harry Potter. You've seen them all. How was it seeing Hermione Granger in a different castle? Let's just say, were you able to separate that?
I feel like at some points it was kind of difficult, like in the darker scenes, like when she's in the tower. It was kind of difficult to differentiate, or like when she's out in the snow, because those are really important scenes from Harry Potter and really important settings. But I feel like in all, the feel of the castle was a lot more like old France, very elegant, very princessy, rather than, wizards and witches and magic and that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Nobody was waiting for Harry Potter to show up anywhere?
Oh, I was at some points. I could, from the opening scene, she starts with the song. Shoot, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is Belle. Emma Watson is Belle. And then at some points, she'd be in some scenes, and I'd be waiting. I'm like, oh, where's Voldemort? Where's Harry Potter? Where's Ron? But it was still a really good film, and she brought a good spin to Belle, I thought.
Okay.
I personally haven't seen all of the Harry Potter movies, so I don't know if that's I know it's sad, but I don't know if it influences how I felt about it. But I personally had no issue with her playing Belle.
All right.
I don't know.
I thought she did a really great job portraying Belle, and I thought she did a really great job with the singing as well. Her voice was just amazing through the whole thing. She did a really good job with it.
Okay, now that's a great point. Now a lot of people are saying they didn't care for her singing. How'd the rest of you feel about the singing?
I mean, personally, as someone who, like, I don't want to sound like pretentious because I definitely know very, very little about like vocals and music, but from like being in choir and stuff and being like surrounded by that like throughout high school, I feel like she probably should have maybe gotten someone else to sing her parts because it sounded a lot like a child singing the part of what was supposed to be a grown woman, just because of, you know, the tone of her voice or whatever. And I love Emma Watson, so if she's listening to this, I am so sorry, and you're beautiful. But
which she probably is, but no pressure, don't worry.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But that was just my take on it from someone who is like, I don't know, has sung for like ever.
All right. Rachel, what'd you think?
She definitely had a good voice. I felt when she was singing, like, I could enjoy it. I could like listen to her sing, but it wasn't anything extraordinary. It didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that booming like Disney princess voice. It was just kind of, you know, Emma Watson singing.
All right, Ashley, what do you think?
I feel like she definitely did better than what I could do. But I feel like my friends can probably sing better than her. So.
All right. Now, compare the movie. Now, the movie is almost identical. There's a few new songs in there for the most part, but the movie's pretty much identical to the animated. You've all seen the animated?
Yeah.
All right, I'm checking Ashley because, you know,
She never sees anything.
So it's almost identical. Which one? We're gonna go around the room. Which one was your favorite, animated or the new one?
Oh gosh, that's a tough
Taylor?
one. I think I really liked the new one because the scenes they added I thought were really well done and really added something to the story. Like a lot of the times when movies are remade, everything they add kind of is annoying because it's like that's not what's supposed to be in there. But I thought everything they added, including the new songs, like really did make sense being in there and really did add something to the story. So I thought it was really well done.
Okay.
This is tough because, you know, the old movie obviously is a really big part of my childhood, being a Disney kid and growing up with watching that movie, you know, every day at home with my mom, you know, or after coming home from preschool, whatever. But I agree with Kaylee in that it really it all came together and it was really true to the old movie. Even little like nuances were very, very similar to the old movie. So I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite, but I know that the new one definitely is equal to, if not better than, the old one.
Okay. Rachel?
I'm just a fan of the Disney classics, and I always have to go with the animated version. Of course, like, the live one was amazing. The animation was spectacular. The way they brought, like, Lumiere and Cogsworth to life, that was incredible. I didn't think that'd be possible. I was worried about that. I'm like, how are they going to do that? But they did it really nice. But all in all, just like the animation one, it's just a classic. I have to go back to that.
Right.
I agree with Rachel on this one, too. Not that the new movie, like, I love the new movie. It was great, but I feel like I just associate, like, happier feelings with the original, just like being a child and like.
Right,
yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
Were you finding that you were kind of comparing, like when they were outside in the snow? Were you thinking about the animated film, or when you met Lumiere or something? Were you thinking more of the animated? That's the way I was when I was watching it. I was thinking about the animated. How did you guys do that?
Yeah, every scene they came up, I was like, is it going to be like the animated one? And if it wasn't, I was like, oh, a little disappointed. But like, it followed the animated pretty good. That's why I liked it so much.
Not making any sense.
I honestly kind of just forgot the question. I got distracted.
Actually, pull it together.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I would say I definitely compared scenes. Like I was like, oh, like I don't. This is a hard question to answer.
This is a hard question.
Yes,
that's why I asked them. We're very hard questions here. We only ask the hard questions on ResortLoop.com. So
give it to someone else.
I mean, I definitely compared scenes, but like the one difference that I really, really liked comparing the old movie to the new movie is that they gave the Beast scenes by himself where he was the only one with dialogue, or he had the most dialogue, to where like his character was really built up. So even though these scenes weren't in the original movie, like the scene where he's like reading poetry to Belle, in the original movie, Belle teaches him how to read. He doesn't know beforehand, but in the new movie, it's better for character development, and it's a lot more it follows the time period too, because in that time period, royalty would have gotten the best education. He wouldn't have been illiterate. He would have known probably more than Belle. So I feel like even though that scene, or those scenes in particular, they didn't pair with the movie or the old movie, they were still really good additions to the story.
I don't think I so much compared throughout the movie, but I thought about, like, as each scene came up, I thought about how are they going to do this? Like, what spin are they going to take on this? Especially, like, the Be Our Guest scene. Like, I was really excited to see what they did. So, like, I wasn't really comparing so much as I was waiting to see what they did to do it for their movie.
Okay. So I gotta ask, because this is now the big question. As far as and Emily's mother pointed this out, she did not like the prince at the end. She wanted the more chiseled prince that you saw in the animated feature. How did you guys feel about the prince?
I personally really like the prince, and I think he paired really well with Emma Watson, because even though he had boyish features, Emma Watson has younger girlish features too. So I feel like they just went together, because in this movie it seems, or Emma Watson's, her appearance is very, not childlike, but very, very young adult, very, 17, 18-year-old, girl, strong young woman. And I feel like the prince, he had to have been young to have, had the personality that he had, to be so arrogant and clumsy with his actions. I feel like both of them looking younger and looking like teenagers or like young adults, I feel like that really helped to tie some things together, tie in, the beast's naive nature and Belle's, strong-willed but sometimes bad decision making, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Kaylee?
I liked the prince. I thought that they really got the most important feature down, which were his eyes, because, like, throughout the movie, she was really paying attention to, like, how he was feeling and how he was responding to things through his eyes, and that's how she knew at the end that it really was him after the transformation, because she looked in his eyes and she saw that they were the same. So I think, like, the most important feature they really nailed, and it was his eyes.
Okay, all right. Rachel?
I agree with Kayla. I don't know. I forgot what the prince looked like.
That's him right there, Dan Stevens. We got him up on the computer there here at the no you don't like him. She's done.
I didn't think about it.
I
didn't really think about if the prince was too chiseled or not.
Yeah, chiseled, but that's okay. We'll go with chiseled. That's a slang,
Ashley's
street
gone.
slang. Look it up.
Ashley's gone. She's out.
Ashley, Rachel's done
Interview's
too.
over.
Ashley, how did you feel about the new prince?
I felt like any appearance of the new prince would have worked, because you just kind of knew that Belle wouldn't really care what he looked like.
Well, yeah, if he right.
So I mean, I don't know. He's pretty cute though.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, so the actual beast himself. Now, you guys have again seen the animated. Which beast is the beast you liked better? The live action beast or the animated beast? Go ahead, Ashley. Since you left off, Ashley, go ahead. We'll let Rachel collect herself.
I personally liked the beast in the new movie. I felt like I could relate to him more. I felt more compassion towards him, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I just liked him a lot more.
Right.
I'm gonna agree with Emily. He definitely had more character development in the live action movie. You could see more of his past. They talked about his father and how his father was really mean, and his mom, and you kind of see more into his backstory than the animated beast, because he was just kind of a guy in a castle that got cursed. But with the live version, like you saw more of that. Like he was like you could see the actual person he was before he was transformed.
I think like personality wise, definitely agreeing with Rachel and Ashley that he had more character development. He was, just a more full character all around and a better character than in the animated version. But I feel like visually, I think the animated version is more appealing just because it's supposed to be a kids movie. Like, it's supposed to be for little kids. Disney's always been, for little kids. And I feel like it's really hard to make a live action Beast that doesn't look scary. Not that he really did, but I feel like if I was a really little kid watching this movie, I might be a little bit scared of the Beast.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask about that, the age, what age. Kaylee, what do you think?
I definitely like the new Beast as well because the same reasons with the character development, like Rachel said, you could actually see like his character and his person and his personality like were more real in this movie because of the backstory that they added.
Okay. And then what about the backstory of Belle? Talking about her mother.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked that they added that backstory because it gave all the characters more depth. It gave the movie itself gave all of them more depth because you saw like even like characters like Mrs. Potts, like they gave her more backstory. Like they gave everyone more backstory, and it just really gave the movie a lot more depth, and it made everyone a lot more easy to relate to. So it was really cool.
I agree with Kaylee. I really like that they gave Belle's mom a backstory, especially because in a lot of the old, classic Disney movies, the mom is just dead. Like you never like hear
right, yeah.
like how it's just you just don't have a mom. Like it's never really explained. Cinderella's mom is just dead. Sleeping Beauty, I mean, her parents are there, but she doesn't really see them very much. Like there's just very little backstory to everything.
Typically in a Disney movie, you're lucky if you got one parent. Most of the time you don't have either. And but that's trying to get kids to understand, that they can persevere and overcome and be strong within themselves without needing somebody to rely on. So, Rachel, what'd you think of the backstory of Belle?
I liked that Belle's mom was given a backstory, but I also like because it added to Belle's dad. Like in the animated film, he's kind of just goofy old crazy Maurice making all these wacky inventions. But like in the live version, you see like he had a tough choice. Like he had to leave his wife who is sick and dying to save Belle. Like it wasn't just like she's gone, like now we can live happily. Like he had to face hard decisions and like make hard choices to like get the life where they're at. And I think Belle finally understood that.
Right. Ashley. Chime in. We're not formal here.
I guess I just wanted to add to that like I enjoyed seeing like the relationship between Belle and her dad. It was just kind of like cute, and like she would like help him do the work, and like I guess I kind of related to that. Like I could like sort of see myself in my dad.
Yeah, a much stronger character maybe. In that she helped with the inventions instead of just being a bookworm and wanting to do that. So you're wanting to say something, Kaylee?
Yeah.
She's chomping at the bit, like yeah, I could build that.
Yeah, the backstory with Belle's mom also gave Belle and the Beast a really important scene where he took her to that like little windmill that her mom was at that she always wanted to see, and like he let her see it, and he really helped her like understand more, and that really made their romance blossom more because that was super important for them to share and for her to share with him.
That's a good point.
So that was like that added to that new scene, and that added more depth for that whole thing too. Gave
him a little bit more humanity.
Yeah.
Made him a little more human than just the Beast. Yeah, very good.
And building off of that, I love how it was so true to the time. I mean, I feel like this movie, more than a lot of Disney princess movies, was really it really took into consideration the time period. The Castle of the Beast is very Louis XIV-esque. Like it's a lot of golds and a lot of floral designs, and the plague doctor and the fact that Belle's mom had the plague, and old Paris. I feel like it was very, very true to the times. Whereas a movie like Sleeping Beauty, the castle is this grand castle, but it doesn't really have the feel of any particular culture. It's just from wherever.
Right. Rachel, Ashley, anything to add to that? No. Okay, real quick. So we know that the next thing coming up, we've got. They're going to do Mulan, live action Mulan. They're going to do a live action Dumbo, of all things, and a live action. What was the other one? Lion King.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How do you guys feel? I mean, you guys grew up with these animated films. How do you feel about what Disney's doing? Did you guys see any of the other live action films, and then how do you feel about them making more? Rachel?
I'm very excited for the live action Mulan. That one's my favorite Disney movie, so I'm excited for that.
Very good.
Lion King and everything. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. How they're gonna do it.
Now, did you see Jungle Book?
I saw Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you didn't see Jungle Book?
I saw Jungle Book.
Okay. I'm guessing it's going to be similar to that, where you're still going to have the lions and all of that, but they're going to talk like in Jungle Book. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of iffy about it. I guess I'll have to wait and
I'm
see.
the same way.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because it's really hard to put emotion on an animal face that's not a cartoon. Because with a cartoon character, you can, change the eye shape. You can make it so that their mouth looks like it's smiling. When you have a real anatomically correct animal that you're trying to animate, I feel like it's really hard to put emotion to it. And I feel like it's really hard to get the animal right. Like, I love Jungle Book. I thought it was amazing. The animation was incredible. But there was something about Baloo that I just he definitely looked like a real bear, but there's something about him that I can't put my finger on that just wasn't believable.
Okay.
Like, looking at the animation. Right. So I feel like it's really hard to get the proportions right and to get, the eyes right to where they're showing emotion, but they're still animal eyes. They're not human eyes. So I feel like that's going to be a challenge for them, right. But because they did Jungle Book already and they've learned from that and it was such a good movie, I feel like I have some hope for it.
Okay. Right.
Like Emily said with the eyes and everything, like just the classic Lion King gives you like that good Disney feeling in your heart. Like the new Jungle Book doesn't quite give you that. Yeah. And it's still animated, but like it's just a more glorified animation than before. It's not really any different. They're just remodeling it, basically.
You can't help but fall in love with Mowgli in the animated version and Simba, young Simba in the animated version. They're just so they're drawn so well and you just like them. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine if they decided to do like a Bambi. You like Bambi for I can't imagine them putting. I'm holding how I feel about it until we see it. But what do you think, Ashley?
I feel like it just won't be able to top the original Lion King.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like I'll still give it a chance. But I just don't think it'll be able to do it.
Now, did any of you see Maleficent? Who saw Maleficent?
I did.
Now, okay, so how do you feel? Do you like when they take a Disney classic and just add a different story to it, like they did with Maleficent? I liked Maleficent because I wasn't watching the cartoon as a live action. How do you feel about that?
That's how I felt about it too. Like with Beauty and the Beast, I was expecting stuff, and if they didn't do that, I was disappointed. But with Maleficent, I wasn't expecting anything. I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I was Maleficent. I was just
Maleficent.
Okay, I'm done.
They're all good friends here.
But I wasn't expecting anything. I was just watching the movie, and each thing they did was new to me, and I liked it. I wasn't. Wait, when are the fairies coming in? They're not supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be like this. They could add their own twist, and so I think the new Disney movies shouldn't just be, hey, it's the same thing, but we're making it kind of new by adding new technology to it. It should be like we're adding sort of a twist. Like now we're showing you more of Scar's point of view or more of Ursula's point of view. Like I think that'd be really cool because there's no like Disney villain movies.
Right.
There you
filling
go.
in plot holes and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. Like they shouldn't be trying just to make the old one better to bring in more money. They should be adding a twist, filling in plot holes, giving different sides to the stories, like Mufasa's through everything, Scar's through everything, like what happened between them, why do they hate each other so much? Like showing that I feel would be like more effective to the audience, and I feel like that'd be a better Disney feeling than just spitting out another copy just
Okay.
to like make a
All
quick
right.
dollar.
All right, so if they're going to do that, how should they have done Beauty and the Beast? What would you have liked to have seen?
I actually was really happy with what they did because
Okay.
they filled in plot holes with you know the Beast's past, why he is the way he is, with Maurice's past and his wife and Belle's mom, and I feel like and Gaston, obviously. I mean, the fact that they like explained that, okay, well, he was a general in the war and that's why everyone loves him, and instead of just showing this hunky guy and saying like, oh, everybody loves him for no reason, they explained like, okay, well, technically he's a war hero, he's not exactly a great guy, but like, you know what I mean, like I feel like they really did a good job of building in like parts of the plot that the old movie was missing.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Nothing. Got nothing. All right, we're going to wrap this up real quick. New Gaston, old Gaston. Rachel?
Oh,
Rachel. I'm pointing at Kaylee going, Rachel.
You've known her for years.
I know. I've known all these girls for years. Rachel, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think New Gaston, because just like Emily said, they filled in more plot holes for him. They gave him more of a backstory. He wasn't just the bad guy that was trying to steal Belle from everybody. He had more to him, why he was like that and everything. So that's why I think I like the New Gaston better.
Okay. Ashley?
Yeah, I agree. I like the new one better too.
All right.
I like New Gaston because he doesn't have a sledgehammer chin looking thing, and I thought New Gaston was kind of cute, so I like New Gaston.
I like New Gaston because he was funnier, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was a lot funnier than, like, the animated Gaston. I don't
Okay.
know why, but I think
Alright.
he was.
Yeah, he's was the animated one a little too creepy? Was he a creeper?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. All right, and one final question. This is the last question I'm going to ask you. Do you want to see at the Disney parks? Do you want to see the new Beast, or you just want to stay with the animated Beast?
I think I want to see the new Beast because I feel like the animated, like,
But would that scare kids? That's something you got to think about.
well, that's true. I just feel like the animated Beast, the costume, it's a very bulky design, and like I've always thought that, like, whenever you see the Beast, it's a very, very, like, he has to walk around and he has like the paw pads, and it's a very, very big headpiece that whoever is wearing it.
No, that's really a person.
Yeah.
That's really
the
Beast. What
Okay,
are you
well, I
talking
feel
about?
really bad for the cartoon Beast because he's really bulky and
Okay.
he's got a lot of chunk on
what you were
him.
talking about there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of chunk on him, a lot of bits and pieces.
All right. So you want to see the new. All right.
Yeah.
Kaylee.
I think the new Beast. I think they should just, take it and run with it, and I think it'd be cool to see the new Beast. And I think, like, I feel like if the Beast is gonna scare kids, like, he's gonna scare them as if it's classical or if it's new anyway. Like, I feel like kids, if they're scared of the Beast, are just gonna be scared of him. But I feel like the new Beast would be pretty cool to see.
Rachel.
Classic Beast, just
Oh,
because
look at this.
I just like the
Great.
classics. I mean, I'm not saying like they can't change anything, but that's just
Especially in
kinda
the
like
parks.
Beast.
I'm with the real Rachel. I agree. I agree with it within the parks. But go ahead, Ashley.
Sorry. I'm for the new Beast.
Oh, geez, we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered. All right. So scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the really, really good. Let's go around real quick. Kaylee.
I gave it a solid 5. I was really
Solid
impressed
5.
with
She
it.
loved it.
5.
5.
4.
4.
5.
5. Wow.
Nothing,
All right.
nothing
Whoa,
can ever be
we
perfect.
got a critic in here.
All right, it's going to start getting ugly here in a minute. So, ladies, thank you all very much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. Filling in for Tim. It takes 4 young ladies to fill in for Tim. I don't know what that means. Anyway, don't forget Looper Meet 2017 coming up very shortly. Keep following us on Facebook, iTunes, not iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, and all of that other stuff. And as Tim says, you've been listening to ResortLoop.com. See you, everybody. Thanks for listening to the show. But now you want to share your love of Disney, right? Unfortunately, a lot of our friends, family, and coworkers just don't share the same enthusiasm we do for all things Disney. Well, now MyDizMatch.com has made it even easier with the all-new MyDizMatch apps for iOS and Android devices. Just download the MyDizMatch app and connect with new Disney friends today. And now, for a limited time, you'll get your first month of full membership free just for signing up. Look for the new MyDizMatch apps on iTunes and Google Play and start connecting with real Disney friends today.